In this video, we're going to go over the basics of how to act when you're working in a group or when you're having a group discussion with other people. This isn't going to get real specific, but what it is going to do is try to give you some guidelines and tips to make sure that you have a really positive group, because groups that keep things positive when you work tend to do the best work, and groups that get negative tend to shut down and not get much done. So here's some tips. The very first one, be positive and be accepting. And those are kind of two different things, but they do go together. One easy rule in your head is just to never laugh or make fun of someone else's comments unless you know for sure they're trying to be funny. When you're working with a group, it's totally different than when you're hanging out with your friends. When I'm hanging out with my friends, if my friend says something dumb, I'm probably going to call them on it. I'm probably going to laugh at them. I'll probably tease them about it a little bit. But that's different because it's me and my friend, A, and B, the purpose of what we're doing is that we're just hanging out. We're not necessarily trying to accomplish anything. We're just sitting there talking or doing something else. When you're working in a group at school or in a workplace, even if you're working with your friends, you have a very different goal. You're not just trying to hang out. You're trying to get a thing done. And as soon as somebody laughs or makes fun of somebody else, all of a sudden that brings some level of negativity in the group. This is especially true when you're working in a group and maybe you have one friend in there, but you got some other people you don't know as well. Those people you don't know as well aren't going to really understand it if you're making fun of your friend or like giving them a hard time about something they said. The idea would be to be professional at all times when you work in groups. And that means never make fun or laugh at somebody else, no matter what it is, unless you know for sure they're trying to be funny. That's really important when you're working in a group that's trying to get something done. The other thing to think about is that realize everybody has something to contribute, but it doesn't always sound perfect when they say it. Because a group discussion is a bunch of people working their ideas out. And when people are working their ideas out, it doesn't always come out your mouth totally perfectly. And sometimes the ideas aren't even good in the first place. It's okay to have bad ideas. It's okay for you to have bad ideas. It's okay for other people in your group to have bad ideas. It's all about how you handle those ideas and work with them. I've been in groups and I've given up really bad ideas, but out of those bad ideas, we've realized we need to at least explore different possibilities, or maybe a different idea than we had in the first place, and ended up coming up with something really good. So any negativity at all would have shut that down. But what you should do is be accepting and positive. And even if you don't agree with the idea, or even if it's not a good idea, make sure you're not being negative directly towards that idea, and instead finding a way towards working towards understanding what people are trying to get at, and figure out how as a group you can move forward. The key to doing this is to show other people you believe in them. Not just don't be negative, but be actively showing other people in your group that you believe in them, and then be supportive of them. Every person that you're going to ever work with in any group is a little bit different than you are. And by a little bit different than you are, I could mean a ton of things by that. But they're going to have some different beliefs, they're going to have some different backgrounds, they're going to have a different way of looking at the world, because for all of us, the things we believe to be true, the things that we believe about the world, the things that we think are the right way to act and the things to do, those are all influenced by the way we were brought up. Those are all influenced by the experiences we've had in our life so far. And everybody's had different experiences in their life so far, so it would make sense that people are going to act differently when they come together. And when people act differently, sometimes it's hard for folks when they work in a group, because it's like, well, you don't act like me, or you don't think quite like me, and that makes it hard. That's a fact you just got to accept. You got to accept that other people aren't going to think, feel, act, believe the same as you do, because they've had a different background and a different experience than you. So accept that fact and work with it. Beyond that, some people are really good at working in groups, and some people need work on it. And if you think about when you tried to learn how to do anything in your life, having other people encourage you and be positive and accepting probably helped you get better at that thing. A couple years ago, my daughter was trying to learn how to walk. She was no good at it when she started. She fell all the time. She was a little 1-year-old. Her legs didn't work to walk. And so instead of me being like, oh, you suck at this, and walking away, or instead of me being like, oh, you're never going to learn how to walk, and just ignoring her, I tried to be positive and accepting. And what I did through that was I helped her learn how to walk. You can help other people learn how to be better at working in groups by being positive, accepting, and supportive of them. You can be honest with them, but you should always be kind. If you do those things, you will help someone else get better at working in groups. Beyond that, this question is going to be what you consider When you finish this assignment, you're going to write an entry to me. How can you show somebody else support during a group discussion? What are the kind of things you should be doing, you personally, during a group discussion to make sure your group is positive, productive, and everyone feels included? When you're in a group, it's okay to disagree. Disagreeing is part of being a human and is a good thing. When we disagree, we generate new ideas. Disagreement is a good thing. However, it's really important how we express our disagreement to make sure that things stay productive and positive. So what you can do is try to do a disagreement sandwich. And we got a lot of sandwich things going in this class. A disagreement sandwich is when you layer your disagreement. Someone says an idea and you don't agree, try to find something positive about that idea and try to point that out, then bring in your disagreement. And usually you say something like, well, yeah, that idea sounds great, however, and then say why. Or that idea sounds like it would be really good if we could do whatever we need to do, but since we can't do that thing, here's another idea of something else we could do. Keep your disagreements positive. The key rule I like to think about is be kind and honest at the same time. So honesty is telling someone exactly what you think, which is a good thing to do. But kind has to do with the way you phrase it. That's a stupid idea is not kind. I'm not sure that idea is going to work because, and then giving reasons, that would be kind. Show other people you're listening to them. When you're with a group, acknowledge people's names. Get to know people's names and use them. That makes people feel important. Those people will like you more. They will listen to you more overall. If you're going off of somebody's idea, acknowledge that. If someone has a really good idea and you want to add to it, acknowledge it by going off of what, and then use that person's name said, and then add your idea. That way it doesn't sound to the group like you're trying to just steal someone's idea. If you're changing a subject, acknowledge that too. Otherwise it sounds like you're not listening. If a group member is talking about something and you want to talk about something different, acknowledge that you're changing the subject. Say something like, I know this is changing the subject, but when you do that, everyone in your group now knows that you're paying attention, which is good, and then you can change the subject. And if you can, look at the person who's talking. Make sure you're being physically aware towards that person that they know you're looking at them. Make it look like you are listening when other people are talking. Here's what you get from following these tips. I'm not telling you just to do this because it's the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. But that's not the only reason to do this. You get something out of it. Here's what you get. You seem smarter to the group or the person in authority. Like if you have a teacher watching you work in groups, they'll think you seem smarter. If you have a boss watching you work with a group someday, you'll seem smarter. When I wanted to go to school to be a teacher, I had to apply. I had to apply to go to school, which I know for a lot of you sounds like repulsive. When I went to apply to go to school, no guarantees I even got to go to this school. The thing they did to test us, to see if we would be good matches to go into this program, they sat us down in a group and they made us have a discussion. And the people who would be our professors later on, they watched us have a discussion. And what they were watching for, they wanted to know, would this person be good at working in groups? That's what they wanted to know. They watched us talk to other people. They watched us see if we followed all the things I just told you. And I got into the program probably because I did those things when I was working with a group. If I hadn't done those things, I might not be your teacher right now, which maybe some of you think that would be great. More often than not, if you follow these rules, other people in the group will like you more, and they will listen more closely to what you have to say, which is great. You want people to like you. When people like you, your life is way better and way easier. So by doing these things, you get people to genuinely like you too. Not like you because like you have cool shoes or a cool coat or like some dumb reason that a lot of times people like people in middle school, but like really think you're cool and really genuinely like you as a person because you seem like a real caring, compassionate, and intelligent individual. You can also help other people get better at expressing their ideas if you follow the rules in this video. When you work in a group, if you do those things, if you're supportive to other people, if you're positive to other people in your groups, you're helping other people get better at working in groups. When you do that, you're helping that person gain a skill they're going to need for the rest of your life. There's not a lot of jobs out there that you can get and enjoy and not have to work in groups. I'm sure there's one or two out there, but there's not a ton. If you want to have your choice over jobs someday, if you want to be able to choose what you do for a living, if you want to be able to make money to where you can have a comfortable lifestyle, you got to be able to work in groups and work with other people. Not being able to work with groups, not being able to work with other people drastically limits your options in life. You get way less choice. And really, if you want to be happy in your life, my best suggestion, do the things to give you the most choice possible so that you can change your mind when your interests change. That's all I've got on groups. So read the directions below this video to figure out what you need to do to finish this assignment. All right, do work.